Hi there, my lovelies. Hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. As you can see from my voice, I am sick, and today I wanted to bring out a very important point. I have so far showed you all the good things that happened to me on my hair loss journey. Today I'm going to talk to you about bad thing. One of that is hair loss. I have lost a lot of hair in the past 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. It started out as a stress induced because my mom was in the hospital, so I was really stressed. Then I got COVID. So I wanted to tell you more about hair loss and COVID. I spoke to you about how hair loss can happen for any stressful event, but COVID has one of the common side effects of COVID is hair loss, and it has not only happened to me, and it happened to my other family members who got COVID, and it's something that we have to deal with. While the side effect could be one of the most alarming, it is short-lived in most cases. So let's dig in. So people with COVID, they may experience hair loss, and basically what happened to me is, like, every time I brush my hair, I'll give you pictures, I see clumps of hair coming off, and this took me back to when I first got diagnosed. I got really scared, so I did some digging, and I wanted to make sure that I make you guys aware. If you had COVID and you started losing hair, don't worry, most of the time it's actually majority of the time it's temporary. So what is causing this hair loss is called telogen effluvium. Yes, I spoke to you about telogen effluvium. Quick recap about the telogen effluvium. About 90% of our hair in our scalp are in growth phase or anagen phase, and about 10% of our hair is in resting phase or the telogen phase. And our scalp, the anagen phase, lasts about 2 to 3 years, and then the hair slowly transitions into the telogen phase, which lasts about 3 to 6 months. And at the end of the telogen phase, our hairs shed from our hair follicles gradually, and it's replaced by anagen hair. So as I explained to you in my previous videos, in an average, we shed about 100 to 150 hairs a day. But when you experience a stressful event like COVID, our body prematurely shifts about greater than normal amount of hair, growing hair or the anagen hair, into a resting phase or the telogen phase. Instead of the usual 10% of hairs that are in the resting or shedding phase, up to 50% of hairs are now moves to like resting and shedding phase, which is more than normal, and it's according to a dermatologist and a hair loss specialist in University of Utah Health. So as I said before, I explained to you in my previous video what causes or what triggers our hair to prematurely move into telogen phase. Viral infection like COVID, hospitalization, surgery, childbirth, medication, especially hormonal medicine, thyroid dysfunction, menopause, and significant emotional stress. So how long does this shedding last? The good news is the majority of the telogen effluvium cases are over in about 3 to 6 months. When there's additional hair that are prematurely shifted into the shedding phase, this recovery happens about this happens with a COVID infection, but when that period is over, those hair that are slowly shifted back in the telogen phase will shift back to normal. The telogen effluvium does not cause a person to lose their hair follicles. You're just losing the hair. And while your hair may not temporarily grow, the hair follicles are still present, so it will eventually regrow. But I have to explain another thing. In less than 10% of the cases, patient may experience a condition called chronic telogen effluvium, where excessive shedding can persist beyond 6 months. This can last a couple of months to a couple of years, and usually no obvious cases can be found. In that case, the doctors treat the symptoms the best way they can with medical therapy. This can happen. Chronic telogen effluvium can happen following COVID infection and can be a symptom of long COVID, basically because our body are undergoing significant amount of stress and are still not back to quite normal with long COVID. Some studies that showed that faster recovery can happen around 2 to 3 months instead of the 6 months after COVID. One of the things that doctors may do is it's called 60-second hairbrush test. Basically, you collect and pile to see how much hair you're shedding, and as I'm posting it on my pictures, you see that I take pictures to make sure document how much hair I'm losing. So my goal was, this is something I did before too. My goal is to see if I'm actually improving. So the thing is, we don't know a lot about COVID infection, what causes what, but one of the common side effects that did show up is telogen effluvium. Some research have shown about 22% of those who were hospitalized with COVID experienced temporary hair loss. Of course, there's not much data available in people with milder form of COVID. However, research have shown that people with history of COVID illness are 4 times as likely to develop hair loss than those who are not infected. So I am one of those who is experiencing hair loss. My sister did too. And so just wanted to give you an update, and wanted to let you know that if you had COVID and you have had hair loss, you're not alone. It's a very common side effect, and majority of the time it is temporary. If your hair growth that you don't see an improvement in 6 months, please see a doctor so they can evaluate you. I hope you found this helpful. I'm still recovering. I'm still losing hair, but I wanted to give you an update. So that's why I didn't have any post, because I've been quite sick. I wanted to give you an update so you are aware what COVID can do, and hair loss is part of a stressful event. One thing I'll recommend is, if you're experiencing hair loss from COVID, please think of it this way: as when a storm blows and it destroys new bloom, but the flowers does grow. Same with our hair. Just put our hair prematurely into a resting phase, but new hair will grow because it's not affecting our hair follicles. But if you have concern, please talk to a doctor and get yourself evaluated. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how it plays, but I'll do the same thing if I don't see an improvement. But I do recommend that if you're concerned about your hair growth, talk to a doctor. I hope you found this helpful, and until next time, take care and bye. Happy viewing.